Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to take some time out this evening while I drive home to talk about my experience with the enlistment process so far. I know that when I was barely getting started, I looked up a lot of YouTube videos and really everything I could find to just get an idea of what to expect and an idea of what I'm getting myself into, basically. And it helped a lot. So that's pretty much my goal with this, is just to put this information out there, tell you kind of what I went through, tell you things from my perspective, and hopefully it serves for, for some people to kind of just reassure them or to give them an idea of what to expect. I would just recommend looking up the Armed Forces Recruitment Office near you. Literally, I looked it up on my iPhone, just on the maps. I also would recommend going to Go Army and just using their means. They'll put you in contact with someone that is in your area, and that's kind of what happened with me. I got a call from the recruiter that was nearest to me, and we set up a time that we would meet in person. And yeah, that was pretty much it. After that, I showed up at the recruiter's office. We introduced ourselves, pretty informal. I went just in jeans and a shirt, nothing crazy, but don't go. I wouldn't recommend going dressed like a bum, like you just rolled out of bed or anything like that. If your goal is truly to join, you want people to take you seriously, do some research, take some time, do yourself a favor, invest about 15 to 30 minutes of focused time in researching the different MOSs, the different jobs that are going to be available to you or that interest you, so that when you get there, it's not just like, oh, I don't know, what do you got? Go in there with an idea of something that interests you. Since I have 10 years experience as a respiratory therapist, I knew I wanted to stay in the medical field. I felt that that's the way that I was, one, going to enjoy my time in the Army as much as possible, but also that's how I would be of greater use. And so I communicated that to the recruiter, and to my surprise, he didn't really try to change my mind. He didn't really discourage me. He said, okay, 68 whiskey, there are certain requirements you have to fulfill, and one of those is you got to test well, or well enough on the ASVAB. So he went ahead and said, all right, let's do your practice ASVAB. So many of y'all who don't know, if the practice ASVAB will be given on your first meeting, I would just go prepared, because that's kind of how it was. He knew really nothing about me. I was new to everything pretty much, and he was like, all right, let's do your ASVAB, or your practice ASVAB. So got in there. It wasn't too bad. I mean, especially those of y'all who might be coming out of high school, might be finishing up with college or whatever, or if you're in college, you're gonna have a good grasp of the four main subjects. You're gonna have your reading, your writing, math, science, all that. So, and it's not super hard at all. I think I went through it and finished in about 45 minutes or something like that, and it's not a very long test. And got out. I scored a 71, which the recruiter said was good. It put me in the range to be able to qualify for the 68 whiskey MOS. So I was happy. And after that, he said, okay, let's schedule your real ASVAB. And just due to my schedule, my work schedule, my family life, he was able to schedule it like a week after. I was able to also use that week to make some time to brush up on a few things that I took away from the practice ASVAB, like, you know, certain math problems that maybe I didn't fully feel comfortable with. I took note of that, just a mental note, that I really am not familiar with. I thought it'd be good to kind of just watch a brief YouTube video explaining certain things like that. And yeah, it paid off quite a bit, I would say, because when it came down to taking the real ASVAB, I scored a 97. So that put me, you know, in just a whole nother bracket. You know, so a lot of doors opened up, and they were asking me if I wanted to do Intel or if I wanted to do like linguistics, things like that. And I kind of just, although it sounded interesting, you know, in the moment, I had to reflect and say, no, you know, like medical is where I know I feel comfortable. And that was my experience with the ASVAB. I did the CAT ASVAB, the computer adaptive test, there at the recruiter station or the recruiter's office. So it wasn't like a very high pressured environment. After that, they will tell you that you have to go down to MEPS to verify your results, meaning, you know, they just got to make sure that it was you answering those tests, that you didn't get any help, basically that you didn't cheat. And the way that they do that is they put you in a testing room, you know, full of other participants, and it's proctored in a way, like, you know, there's someone there that's observing everything, and they make you take another 30 question quiz or exam. But these questions, they're not brand new questions. They're basically the same questions that you already answered. They're just recycled, and like I said, they're just making sure that it was you that answered the questions originally. So if you have a semi-decent memory, you're going to be able to recognize the questions, and you'll remember exactly what you put, and you can blow right through it. It don't make it any more complicated than